Netflix just dropped an exclusive 6-minute sneak peek of Wednesday Season 2 during TUDUM 2025. And yeah, it's packed with new footage. This extended look gives us way more context than the trailers we've seen so far, with fresh scenes that start to reveal where the story's headed, and even answer some of the burning questions we've been asking right here on the channel. In this video, we're breaking it all down scene by scene. But first, hit that subscribe button. Most of the people watching our videos still aren't subscribed, so make sure you don't miss what's coming next. The sequence opens with a shot we've already seen before. Wednesday is tied up and gagged in a basement, surrounded by dolls on a table. Yeah, that eerie visual popped up briefly in the previous trailers, but now we get way more context. And this time, it all plays out with Wednesday herself narrating the scene. She says she's being held hostage by a serial killer, one who believes she's going to be his next victim. Now, we kind of picked up on the doll obsession from earlier footage. But here's the twist. He's not collecting dolls. He's turning his victims into dolls. The camera lingers just enough for us to notice some disturbing details. Hand-stitched dresses, glass eyes, and, yes, actual human hair. In one of the earlier trailers, we saw Wednesday hand one of these dolls to Enid and straight up tell her the hair is real. Now we know exactly where it came from. Each doll represents one of the killer's real victims. We then see Wednesday completely focused. And during her voiceover, she reveals that she spent her entire break honing her psychic abilities. The scene cuts to a flashback, young Wednesday, in black and white, presenting a school project. The topic? A serial killer. And it's clearly the same one we saw at the start of the trailer. Turns out she's been onto him for years. Even as a kid, Wednesday was already digging into this case. She knew he existed, and she was obsessed with uncovering the truth. Now, years later, she's back on his trail, and her powers are stronger than ever. Next up, we see Thing breaking into the police evidence room, and here's where the mission starts to make more sense. Wednesday needs physical evidence, something directly tied to the killer, so she can use her psychic abilities to track him down. That's where Thing comes in. He shows up pushing a ball with a rubber duck inside. Yeah, you heard that right. And this detail deserves a closer look. That rubber duck looks exactly like the one we saw in an earlier teaser, the one where Uncle Fester's chilling in the bathtub. It's a clear visual match. Now this could just be a clever little Easter egg, or it could mean the duck is more than just a gag. Either way, the choice feels intentional. With the evidence now in her hands, courtesy of Thing, Wednesday is finally able to do what she's been planning all along, tap into her psychic abilities to track down the killer. We've seen her have visions before throughout the series, but this one hits harder. You can tell her powers have grown stronger, and this time, what she sees is way more revealing. The vision gives us two key pieces of information. First, the killer's location. The scene is filled with subtle clues pointing to Kansas. That ties directly to the Miss Kansas sash we saw on one of the dolls in the earlier trailers. The same one Wednesday gave to Enid. Second, we find out exactly what he does with his victims. He cuts their hair and uses it to make his dolls. That detail connects all the dots, especially the scene where Wednesday hands the doll to Enid and casually tells her the hair is real. Everything finally makes sense. The killer has a clear routine. He operates out of Kansas, targets his victims, and turns each one into a doll, complete with real human hair. This is one of those moments a lot of people saw in the earlier trailers and just assumed it was a funny throwaway scene, Wednesday going through airport security. But now, we finally understand the real reason behind the trip. She's not on vacation with her family like some fans had guessed. She's actually on the hunt, following the lead from her vision, headed straight to Kansas to track down the killer. The airport? Just the next stop in her plan. And here's what's clever. Even though this is a high-stakes moment, she's literally chasing a serial killer. The show still manages to keep that classic Addams family dark humor alive, especially during the baggage check. Next up, the X-ray scan of Wednesday's luggage, and here comes one of the weirdest reveals so far. Thing has been hiding inside the suitcase the entire time. The scanner image shows him clearly curled up between random objects. and the TSA agent instantly knows something's not right. Fun fact, that agent is played by Alfred Goff, the showrunner of Wednesday, a cool little Easter egg for fans who are paying attention. Right after that, another agent opens the suitcase and finds Thing just chilling inside. Wednesday, totally unfazed, explains she's heading to an embalmers convention in Kansas. But here's the kicker. As we pointed out in a previous breakdown, the real issue isn't Thing, it's the oversized bottle of sunscreen he packed in the bag. Yup. The one item we called out earlier as suspicious actually becomes the real problem at the checkpoint. So while the audience assumes the hand will be the red flag, nope. It's the sunscreen that gets flagged. That kind of unexpected twist is exactly what keeps the Addams-style humor alive and well in the series. Cut to a quiet suburban neighborhood in Kansas. A white van is parked outside a house. A man walks toward it, calm and casual. But then we get a closer look. It's him, the man Wednesday's been tracking. And here's the twist. He's played by Haley Joel Osment, finally revealing his mysterious role in the series. Everything seems totally normal, until he shuts the van door. The moment it closes, Wednesday is already there, standing silently, staring him down. She pulls out a taser and goes in for the attack, but before she can strike, he grabs her wrist, stopping her cold. And just as he touches her, she's hit with a sudden and intense psychic vision. The sequence flashes between fast, disjointed cuts and chilling details. And it's crystal clear now. The killer recreates his victims as dolls, using their hair, capturing their facial features, and dressing them in themed outfits. That ties directly back to the Miss Kansas doll we saw in previous trailers. Now we get the full picture. The sash isn't random. It's a reference to one of the victims. Then we cut to a heavy steel door being pulled open. On the other side, the infamous doll room. And right in the center, Wednesday. She's tied to a chair, staring straight at the killer. As the killer brings out his tools, instruments of execution and torture, Wednesday is still tied up. He holds up a doll, clearly implying she's about to be his next victim. He removes her gag, maybe expecting fear, a plea for mercy, or at least some kind of reaction. But Wednesday, with her signature sarcasm, simply says it's her turn to show what she can do. At that moment, one of the nearby dolls moves its head. And suddenly, Thing jumps out from inside it. He'd been hiding there all along. And now he launches himself at the killer with a quick, well-timed attack. The whole thing is fast and funny, blending action with classic Addams style. And Wednesday? She just watches, calm and unbothered, as if she expected this exact outcome. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button to support the channel, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.